We've got a hot show today. Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly had a conversation.
Women want to be they want to be taken care of.
Women want a masculine guy when it's convenient for them.
Yet another good reason to pay on the first date. It filters out ingratitude.
No. Stop. No. Oh, guys, don't listen to this advice. I have a better way to filter it out. Don't spend the money on date one.
Are you telling me that men aren't paying for everything on the first date? No wonder why male-female relations have fallen down so much.
Ladies, you did this. This is on you. Own it.
I can relate to that even as a working woman.
Let's just address a couple of points here. Hello, everyone. I am back. Slice my finger open. Let's talk about that a different day. Let's not even go there. But I am back better than ever. We've got a hot show today. Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly had a conversation I caught wind of on men paying for the first dates. And it got pretty deep. We are going to take that as a stop and go throughout because some stuff needs to get corrected. So we're here to do it. Let's hit it.
I saw a clip of you online. I don't even know the podcast. Forgive me. You'll tell us what it is. But I loved it so much. I wanted you to say it here and expand on it. Here it is. Watch.
Women want to be they want to be taken care of. I know this is like super provocative, but like deep down, they want a man to be able to provide for them financially.
Should a man pay on the first date?
100%. Like, what kind of a wuss beta male is splitting the check? But like, who are you? It's like, I'm just sorry. It's so. I would go into debt and
Wait, what?
scrub dishes before a woman pays.
I split the check quite a lot.
So I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you. You guys are great. That's incomprehensible to me. I think that's
to me. I thought it was a great financial decision. I've just
so from your prism, I totally get that, and like you have really good financial discipline. I'm sorry, like I would be so humiliated if I find that to be like the greatest beta male like humiliation.
To save money?
To like the idea that a woman that you're trying to court. Now, if it's like a friend thing or
as a first date, you don't even know if she's like
matter.
Quality.
It does not matter. I'm sorry. By the way, that money you save is not worth the honor that you compromise.
Dude, it's such a big deal.
It's a massive deal.
I love everything you said. Please explain what was happening there and who that was.
Well, so first of all, those were two great guys. I don't remember their names. Unfortunately, it's from the Iced Coffee Hour podcast, so at least I got their show right. They were really sweet. They came to Phoenix. They brought their mobile studio. They're up and coming in the podcast world, which I have a soft spot for, as I'm sure you do, Megyn. They were really great, right? And they asked this question, and he was just so terribly wrong on this. And what was so interesting, I have multiple takes on this. The first of which is that the comments I got, the video went super viral, right? It got tens of millions of views. The comments from the women were so overwhelming. Yes, thank you. We need more of this. Why don't men do this anymore? And then from the men, it's like, Charlie is wrong, like women aren't worth it. Now, let me just say, hold on. Let me just take a whole recalibration. Now, there were some men that agreed, but overwhelmingly, the women were the ones that were driving this video, which is unique because that's not always the case for Charlie Kirk videos. Usually it's the opposite.
Okay, let's stop there driving this video for a second. Let's just address a couple of points here. We're going to have to nuance this, okay? Because there's a lot of statements made. Okay. First of all, women do want a provider man generally. Yes, we've established that on this show. And again, I'm going to say women want a provider man and they want a masculine guy when it's convenient for them. That's the problem. They are not willing to be in their feminine. They want to be able to be in their feminine when you pay the bill, but they want to be able to be in their masculine when they're bossing you around the house, when they are the woman of the house and the man of the house gets told to sit down, when they are following a boss babe trajectory, when they are deciding that they want to, send their kids to daycare so that they can amp up their career. When they're making all of these decisions, they want to opt to be in their masculine. You can't turn on a guy's like provider chip when you want. They're not operating on remote control, honey. So number one, let's just say that women do want that, but they want their cake and they want to eat it too. And they want, some dessert over on that table too. And maybe a little baked apples over there. They want it all. And it doesn't work like that because a relationship between a man and a woman is a give and take. Okay, so that's number one. Now, I have said many times, if you make a decision as a man to spend money on that first date, that is a bad decision. Okay, now we're talking about first dates, not people you've known for 30 years and now you decide to take them out. You know it's a good person, not people you have a long existing. I'm talking about you swipe, you're on an app, you get introduced to a stranger, you're suddenly on your first date. I have told you, do not make that about the money. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what diva wants to be spoiled out there that's claiming to be a good girl with a body count of 86. I don't care. You go out and you make sure she's not there for the money, that she's there for you. So you do not spend that money. In fact, Charlie, the greatest beta male move is not the guy who splits the check, although I will explain to you that you shouldn't do that. We'll get to that in a second. But the guy who forks over all the cash on date one, trying to impress her, trying to be everything she needs him to be. And then when you ask her, hey, honey, what do you bring to the table? She's like, this. You already got played in that dynamic. Now, if you're a guy who decided, you made the decision to spend that money on date one, despite what I'm telling you, despite what your friends told, despite the good advice you got, now you're in it and you got to pay, right? I would say the one caveat is if she disrespects you while you're there, I would put down some money for my meal and say, honey, you're not worth it. See you later. And get up. Get up, right? If, however, it's just, not going great, you made the decision to spend the money, then you got to own it. Ideally, yes. Would men be the gentleman? Yes. Of course, men would pay and men would pull out your chair and men would do all of those things. The problem is that men have gotten abused. And women have spent a very long time telling men, don't do those things for me. I don't need you to do those. In fact, I don't need a man at all. And then when they stop doing them, it's like, you expect me to pay? Honey, didn't you just say you wanted to be the man in the relationship? Well, fork up. That is why we are in this predicament. We are not in this predicament because men woke up one day and decided not to be gentlemen. We are in this predicament because women told men, stop being gentlemen. I don't need you. Abused the situation. Tortured the guys who, God forbid, were gentlemen. You're going to walk me to, that's so creepy. You're going to walk me to the door. Did all that. And now guys are like, well, screw you. Screw you. That's why we're here. Again, he says, why don't men do this anymore? It's very obvious to everyone why. First of all, they got taken advantage of repeatedly by women who now go on social media. Charlie, go do me a favor, honey. Go scroll through TikTok, go scroll through Instagram. There's women all over the place taking advantage of men. Ha ha, took him out, went out with him just to get a free meal. Ha ha, got my free meal today. It's all over the place. They're advertising it. They're proud of it. Guys are getting taken advantage of. Guys are tired of, being the free meal and nothing else. Guys are tired of all the abuse. Guys are tired of being told, oh, I don't need you. And well, honey, you do. Then the bill comes around and suddenly you're looking around like who's going to pay for it. Turns out you do need him. Or get your wallet out and be quiet. Let's continue.
Listen, a man needs to demonstrate leadership and the capacity to provide early on. That doesn't mean that you have to have that role when you end up having a marriage, but from the outset, what it means to be a man is to take directive, to be leadership, to have the protector of the family, and not to mention the young lady that is there, deep down, she wants to show that when all the crap hits the fan, the man can take care of her and that he will do the alpha move and that he's not going to split the check. And there's also I didn't mention this in the video, so I'll say this here, Megyn. It filters out ingratitude. It filters out the character of the person you are courting. I was shocked. I learned this, that so many men came to me and they said, Charlie, when I pay for a lot of the first dates, the women never say thank you. I said, yet another good reason to pay on the first date.
No, stop. No, honey, no. Charlie. We should have Charlie on. Can you do me a favor, put in the chat? Do you want me to have him on and have this conversation? Some of y'all love Charlie. Some of y'all don't love Charlie. I don't know him personally. Do you want me to have him on? I want to hear from you. Put it in the comments, put it in the chat. Should we have this conversation for y'all to see? Okay. Let's break this down. A man needs to demonstrate leadership. Sure. Yes. Yes, he does. Can I ask you, though, what does a woman need to demonstrate? Crickets, I hear. Nothing but crickets. What does a woman need to demonstrate? Femininity, virtue, and anyone? Anyone? Raise your hand. I feel like I'm in the classroom here. People in the audience, you know. So here's the thing. A man no longer feels inclined in a lot of these situations to demonstrate that leadership because women aren't being women, right? They're doing the man's job. So this is supposed to complement each other. And what women don't want to own is that they have stopped doing their part. They're trying to do the guy's part. So now what is the guy supposed to do? You don't need two guys doing their part. This is a major problem, and women need to own their role in it. I'm not saying there aren't deadbeat guys. I'm not saying there aren't guys out there that wouldn't want, even in the best of circumstances, to be a gentleman. Sure, those people exist. Is that the majority of what's going on right now and why this dynamic is flipping this way? No, it's not. It's not. I'm telling you, it's not. Charlie also says something weird, like a man needs to demonstrate leadership. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the role he's going to have in the marriage. Yes, it does. A man should be the leader of the house. End of story. End of story. Done. Amen. Okay. Now he goes into this discussion about how, oh, guys, don't listen to this advice. Don't listen to there was a reason that all of the women in the comments were like, yeah, Charlie, yeah, you go, you back me. That is a reason, because a lot of women are abusing the situation. And what they love most is a guy out there saying, yeah, guys, keep getting abused. Keep getting, yes. Oh my God, yes. Yeah. No, I'm here to say no. The buck stops here, honey. He says you filter out the women who are like the crappy women who are going to take advantage of you by when you go and you spend all the money on the first date, they don't say thank you. I have a better way to filter it out. Don't spend the money on date one. This is really easy. And I'm not saying split the check. I'm not saying make her pay. I'm saying choose a date where there's not money spent and see how she reacts. Oh, he took me out for a walk and an ice cream. What's wrong with that? Oh, well, I was hungry. I don't really like him, but filtered out that way. Not every guy has boatloads of cash, by the way, too, to just be spending money on every girl like this, right? There's got to be a process here. You want to save your money and spend it on worthwhile women. You do not need to shower them with free dinners and lavish stuff on date one to figure out if they're worth it. Do it before. Okay, let's keep going.
You learn as much about her as she is learning about you. And I asked a group of women, 100 women. I said, appealing or unappealing, attractive or unattractive. The man on the first date pays the check without you even knowing and goes to the maitre d' and hands the credit card while he goes to the bathroom. They said it's a beyond a turn on. I said, so for men, I mean, for men, you're talking about a way that you could advantage yourself. Now, they say, well, what if the date didn't go well? Still does not matter. What if you think that it will never go anywhere? Still does not matter. You have a role to play. And on a date, the woman is there to be courted by you. That is the way this works, right? You are the one that is hosting. You are the one that is hospitable. And I think a breakdown of that has been so destructive. But to complete the point, so many of the men that pay for it, they find out a lot about the women. So I could go endlessly about this, Megyn, but I think I learned about that this was happening, by the way, in this podcast. Afterwards, I said, are you telling me that men aren't paying for everything on the first date? They said, oh, yeah, all the time that we're splitting it. I say, no wonder why male-female relations have fallen down so much.
No, stop. Nope. Charlie, men are splitting it because they were told, I don't need you to pay for my dinner. I don't know how long he's been out of the dating market. It has been a very long time that women now are saying, sitting down. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I can't tell you how many times Jeremy and I, when we started dating, went out with another couple. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen women put their credit card down and say, I don't need you to take care of me. I have a really good job on date one. I cannot tell you how many times I watched men act like gentlemen and get smacked in the face or smacked on the hand, like as if they were doing something wrong by being gentlemen. And they were somehow implying that those women needed them, right? They were like, damsels in distress in some way. And women got really spiteful about it. So they started splitting the check because women told them, I don't need you. That's why. That is why. Now, sure, there's some guys that just weren't raised right and, maybe, sure, yeah. But there has been a massive change in this because of women's behavior. No one wants to point the finger at women, so let me. You out there, ladies, you did this. You turned men from gentlemen to not so gentlemanly because you consistently smacked them on the hand and told them you didn't want them to pay the bill. You didn't need them around. All of that stuff. This is on you. Own it. Own it. Now they're all mad, right? Because they're looking for a free dinner and they're like, ha, honey, get your wallet out. Again, men have a role to play. I love this. Yes, men have a role to play. What is women's role? Where is that in the discussion? Maybe we'll get to it. We'll see. What is if men have a role to play to court you, what is your role as a woman? Do you not have to be respectful, kind, feminine? Dare I say it, submissive, polite? What is your role? Or do you get to just show up and be a you-know-what? And he still pays for everything? No, we are still humans. And you still earn respect, right? Or not? Are we not in that world anymore? I just don't understand why it would be fine if we were having this discussion and talking about a man's role and not afraid to say, what is a woman's role? Why is she not doing it and still having the expectation that a man is doing a man's role? Hello. Keep going.
We need men to be men again. We need to raise our sons to be men of honor, of character and leadership, to look after the women in their lives, to say that women are not just beautiful, but they're honorable and they're sacred, and that we provide for our wives and that we honor our mothers and that we protect our sisters. That's the men that we want to raise in our country, and we've gotten away from that.
Oh, I love it.
Stop again. I can't. Megyn's, I love it. Remember the video she did? Well, go ahead, go watch it about the covert feminism come there. Okay. Yes. In your utopia, where all women are feminine and submissive and women of virtue, and they don't have a body count of 742 laughing about it, and they're not raking in money on the OF, and they're not making video after video saying how they don't need a man and men are this and this outright misandry and all of it. Yes. Those women, great. That's not who these guys are facing on dates. He says, raise our sons to be men of honor. Yes, great. What about raising our women to be women of honor? And Charlie would probably say, yes, it's not happening. Guys are not facing honorable, sacred women when they go out. They are facing entitled, spoiled, obnoxious, boss babish, I don't need a man, misandrist, men are the problem. Men should have to start off in jail and work their way out. Remember that one? That's who's on the date, right? So the advice to men is pay attention, right? Vet who you're going out with. Work up your whole life so that you are a magnet for good women and that you have a lot of options. Why are guys being told, oh man, Justin Waller, my friend Justin Waller, where are you when I need you, honey? Come on in. He's coming, don't worry. Stop trying so hard on date one to please the woman. Let me not do anything to upset her. Let me do this. Let me go and pay the credit card, even if she's been a nasty, obnoxious the whole time. No, this is supposed to be a give and take. She has expectations of you. Have expectations of her. Okay? This is so one-sided. It's nauseating. Okay, let's keep going.
Right on. I agree with every word. Shoot it into my veins, as they say. A shout out to the podcast. It is hosted by Graham Stefan and Jack Selby.
Sorry.
They explore
very nice guys that were so wrong on that, but they were sweet young.
Totally. And I'll tell you, I can relate to that even as a working woman who obviously can support herself. But when Doug and I met, and I was still working, I was at Fox News. I was in my infancy at Fox News. He was making a lot more money than I was, and he was running his own company. And I mean, if he had actually suggested that we split the bill or that I pay, he would have been out the window in a New York second. I mean, it wouldn't have even been a consideration. It was clear that he was taking care of me in that way. We both understood it. And then eventually in the course of our relationship, just because media is what it is, I wound up earning more than Doug just because, that's, how it is. But still, he takes care of me. Still, he's in the alpha role in our personal life. And I'm more in the beta role in our personal life, which I love. That turns me on. Like if it were something else, I don't think it would work. And I don't think people understand that. That's true, I think, universally for 99% of women, whether they're working women or not working women or women who work in the home, etc. They do want to be taken care of. It's biological, and they want to take care of their men in different ways too.
Yes, and also, this is very important, that the man, if he is not providing or if he is not productive, then something happens to men that's really hard for us to sometimes.
Okay, stop
put
this for a
words, but
second. Man alive. Okay. I don't know her situation with Doug. He's very nice. That's all I can tell you. I don't really know the dynamic of their relationship. I would assume, maybe I'm wrong, that if Doug had said, hey, I really like you. Let's go for a walk. And I'm assuming that she wouldn't have been horrified, right? Again, the assumption here is always that guys have a role and that all of the women that they're courting are just women of virtue and elegance and kindness and deserving of all of these things. It doesn't acknowledge the actual experience of men today. It doesn't acknowledge that when they are raised right and they do all the right things, they are not meeting women who appreciate, who value, who care. That's not what the modern woman is. Megyn Kelly is not the young woman today being raised in this environment on social media. She's older than I am, right? She's nothing wrong with that, but this is not the climate that she's in. What we're talking about is young men who are dating right now and the kinds of women that they are by and large encountering. And they are ungrateful. They are taking advantage of them. They are saying, we don't need you. They are nasty. They are unappreciative. And they're making videos and chronicling it for all to see, right? They're perfectly comfortable putting that out there. So again, she says it's biological. It's biological for a man to take this alpha role. Yes, it is. Again, what is it biological for a woman to do then? What does that look like? It's not enough for her to just say, well, to be feminine, to be in the beta role. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means, are you making a house into a home? Are you willing to stay home and take care of your kids and not go off to work if the husband goes off to work and pays the bills and he's the man of the house? Are you in your feminine? Are you a woman of virtue? And I'm not challenging Megyn on this. I'm saying in general, these are the questions we should be asking of women. If it is biological and you want men to sit in their biological tendency to provide and protect for you, shouldn't you be sitting in your biological tendency to be feminine and virtuous and all of those things that is what a woman is supposed to be? Or are you going to act like some boss babe 304 you know what and still expect that guy to do all the right things? It doesn't work like that. That is not how it works. That's not how it should work. And she also says, women want to take care of men in different ways. Now, the assumption there is that men will take care of you in masculine ways and you will take care of them in feminine ways. And what does that look like ideally? Loyalty, devotion, submissiveness. You are the man of the house and I honor that. Kindness, virtue, respect. Is that happening? Guys, get in the chat now. Is that happening? I am so tired of no one in these conversations speaking up for the harsh and very real reality that men are facing in the dating world right now. Because we talk about what women face. We're perfectly comfortable saying there's deadbeat guys who need to, get off their bum. You need to, make your money. You need to be able to provide for your family. You need to be in shape. You need to be fit because if you're fat, you can't, and you're running across the street with a jiggle belly, you can't protect your woman. We are comfortable saying all of these things, but we are not comfortable checking women and saying, are you in your feminine? Are you virtuous? Maybe that body count of 86 is catching up with you, honey. I'm not into it. We are not comfortable challenging them. Why? That is where we are. And that is why I'm doing this segment. Not because they're wrong on everything, but because do you see how there's no voice there for the average guy? Where is it? It's right here. I want you to hit that subscribe button right now. I want you to hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit like. I want you to get in the comments. It helps us with the algorithm. We are growing, and we are growing because of you. Also in the chat, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Tell me now. We're going to get back to the clip in just a second. But first, a lot of y'all are buying the jerky, the beef sticks from Lineage. I've gotten so many incredible messages from you. First of all, I love that you love it. Secondly, I love that you went and bought it and tried it and you used my discount code. For those who don't know, I am plugging this because I love it. I eat it all the time. It is one of the most nutritious snacks out there. This is Paul Saladino's company. They have figured out a way to do meat sticks. It's beef, grass-fed, 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, liver, and heart. You don't even taste the liver and heart. They have classic. This is the garlic and onion, which is my favorite. They have a spicy one, which is just a tiny bit spicy. It's so delicious. These are air-dried, no chemicals, no curing agents, 100%. This is beyond organic. This is like regenerative beef. Incredible. No hormones, no antibiotics. I'm trying to think. No sugar, no seed oils, no preservatives, no crap, basically. This is my favorite snack on airplanes, long car drives. And honestly, if I forget, I'm like, oh my God, I don't have time to cook. Let me run and pick up my kid. It's so good. It's really, thank you for the messages. I love that you love them. If you haven't tried them yet, get your discount. Jedediah 10. Jedediah 10 gets you 10% off site-wide, by the way. You don't even have to buy the beef sticks. You can buy the creatine. You can buy the protein powder. You can buy whatever you want. Their stuff is incredible. The quality is amazing. It's all heavy metal tested. It's all tested for all the crap. So head on over Jedediah 10 for 10%. Site-wide at lineageprovisions.com. We're going to link it in the description as well. So, all right, back to the video.
The statistics show it. They kind of get emasculated. They get into pornography. They gain a bunch of weight, where it is best for a man to have pressure. Men succeed under pressure. And so many young men are without pressure. And sometimes you go on a first date, you know what? You have to have the pressure to provide on that first date. So many young men are in a pressure-free environment. What does that mean? They don't have to provide for themselves. They don't have to provide for others. They don't have to show. So when all of a sudden pressure makes the man, where you have to show up at 5 a.m. for work, that you have to make enough money to pay for rent. And then, yes, you also have to provide for a family. And I could say this as a married man with 2 kids. Something happens the way God wired us once you get married with kids, where you just figure it out. And you're like, I'll take a second job. I'll work all night. I'm going to, ask the boss for a raise. I'm going to come up with a new idea, because all of a sudden you feel this biological need that I have to feed these kids. And it sometimes happens subconsciously.
Okay, stop. Oh, man. Okay. I want to hear, too. You want me to have Charlie on? Let me know. Pressure makes the man. Yes, it does. Okay. Pressure. Let's hear this again. Pressure makes the man. Yes, it does. Men and women are different. What does pressure do to women? It wrecks them. Myself included. I lived it. It's horrible. So if pressure makes the man and pressure depletes the woman, what happens when you have a house where both men and women are doing a career climb? Men climbing, pressure makes the man. Women climbing, pressure destroys the woman. First of all, where's the kids? Oh, we forgot about them. Oh, daycare somewhere. Who knows what's going on there? Maybe the state's taking care of them because mom's at work too. If pressure makes the man and pressure depletes the woman, what happens to a house where everyone understands that pressure makes the man, but it doesn't make the woman? And now that woman is trying to do a man's role, and now she's getting all the pressure, only she's not responding the way a man is. She's getting drowned. She's suffering. She's struggling. Her kids are now at daycare. Responsibilities are being delegated outside the house. She's getting autoimmune condition. She's freaking out. She's popping wine to try. She's angry. She's cranky. She's stressed out. Her hormones aren't aligned with this whole career climb. Pressure makes the man, not the woman. So, Charlie, again, in order for this to work, this is a utopia he's talking about. Oh, yes, dad's got to take a second job. Dad's got to do all the... Yes, right. What does mom need to be doing in order for dad to do these things where pressure makes the man? She needs to be mom. Who's home with the kids? You can't have pressure makes the man. Dad takes a second job. Dad's, climbing the ladder. Dad's figuring out how to pay the bills. Dad's doing all this. If mom's not home with the kids, right? It doesn't work. The whole machine is falling apart because women aren't in their feminine. It's falling apart because of that, because now you have women who are cranky, who are irritated, who are losing their minds trying to do the man's climb. The man can't do the man's climb properly because he's stressed out that he comes home to a woman who's also stressed out because she's been doing the man's climb. But pressure doesn't make the woman. It sinks the woman. Do you see how the machine is broken? And guys can no longer do their job because they don't even, first of all, most of them don't even know what that is anymore. They're being told all these different things. Now they're living with women who act like men. It doesn't work. Now, if you have a boatload of money, Charlie Kirk style, Megyn Kelly style, I got money too, right? Being honest with you all. If you got money, right? You out there, maybe you worked hard, maybe you got money, and you can make this work even when mom is doing the climb because you bring in the au pairs, you bring in the nannies, you do whatever you need to do. Is that an ideal situation if you're opting for that? In my view, no. I do believe mom is mom, nanny is not mom, au pair is not mom. It's not the same thing. Personally, that's my belief system. But can you make it work and still let the guy, if you have these people you can hire and you got the chef in the kitchen and you got all that? Sure. That is not the average person. That is not their life. Their life is that dad is trying to do dad, but mom is also trying to do dad. Kids are stuck in daycare at 6 months old because there's no other option. Mom is completely fried. She's making dad completely fried. The whole house is burning up. The energy is all off, and you got two masculine energies, no feminine energy, and the marriage sinks. That is reality, not this utopia that Charlie's talking about. That's not what exists now. It's not because women are no longer in their feminine. Let's keep playing.
But it's so important. And the same thing happens, by the way, for moms, right? They are like, we got to get the house organized, right? We got to make sure it's clean. We got to make sure the meals. It's the same sort of thing. And they always can't put words to it. But for the man, it gives them purpose in their work. It gives them satisfaction. Like, okay, it was a rough day at work, but I came home and these kids are fed and they could go to school and we live in a nice neighborhood. And it gives man a sense of contentment and satisfaction that is so missing from modernity with these young men, largely because we've taken them out of this kind of purpose-filled life. And I think, again, I would say, and it's so interesting you said what you said, Megyn, that the women that are the prizes, if you split the check with them, there probably will not be a second date.
Oh, hell no.
Hell
no. And can I say the other thing that you're talking about that I think people need to be reminded of, and I think is important, is the man should be the pursuer in the early relationship.
Yes.
And frankly, I mean, Doug and I have been married, I don't know for how many years now, 18 years, and he's still pursuing me. He's still not sure where it's going to land. It has to be. It's biologically conditioned.
Yes.
Men and women are for the man to be the pursuer. He's the lion and you're the gazelle. And he's like programmed to run after you. And if you upend that in any way, you're messing with nature. You know, so that like young men should know you do need to make the phone calls. Even if she didn't call you back, you have to be the one to text first. It's like almost like a reporter going after a source. In a way, you're subjugated, but you're not actually subjugated. You're doing it because you're the leader in the relationship in this way. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually hot and appropriate and part of the game and the turn on.
No. Stop. No. This is terrible advice, guys. Do not listen to, can I get a big banner? Editor, big banner. Maybe we can make it blink. Do not listen to this advice, men. Guys, stop. Full stop here. First of all, I need to tell you, 99% of the advice you hear from women is not aimed to help you, okay? It's aimed to put you in a position where they have the power. So just stop listening to most of them. I'm just telling you now. Men, here's what you do. You do not pursue constantly. You do not constantly call, even if she doesn't call you back. You will be put on the B list so fast that your head will spin exorcist style. Okay? Here's what you do. You don't chase women. You, again, make yourself into a magnet for women. You will attract the prize, as Megyn calls it, and then a prize behind her, and then a prize behind her. You get your life in order. You do not chase her. You get your life in order. You get fit. This is your advice. Take it from someone who's looking out for you. I have a son, okay? I have a young son in this world. My entire motivation here is to grow him into a man that's honorable and that gets treated with respect, and to call out all of the crap going on in this world that is trying to wreck men, okay? You want to attract a prize in a woman, you get your life in order. You get your finances in order. You get yourself a good job. You make sure you can pay your bills. You get stable, right? You invest in things. Maybe you get a car. Maybe you get a house. You get yourself settled and stable with reliable, dependable energy. Okay? You get yourself fit. You go to the gym. You look good. Get that haircut. Look good, right? Clean it up, right? You take pride in what you look like. You look in the mirror. Of course, we're not just working out to look good. You're working out for your health and your longevity too. You're healthy. You're eating right. You're getting your sleep. I'm not a fan of, I'll sleep when I'm dead. The death will come sooner if you don't sleep, honey. You get your quality sleep. You get your exercise. You get settled. You get your finances in order. You treat your people with respect. You become known as somebody who's a good friend, who's, a good son. You treat your family with respect. And I promise you, you will encapsulate all of that energy. You will be like leaking out just stability, security, confidence, and women will flock to you. You will not need to chase. You will not need to constantly be looking and pursuing. They will come to you. And when they come to you, the power dynamic will be where it should be, which is that you will automatically be in the power dynamic of what's soon to be a head of household, and she will be in the submissive, right? You want her to come to you. You want her to be drawn to you. Now, that doesn't mean you can't take initiative as a man and say, hey, would you like to go out for a walk? I really, that's, of course, you can be a gentleman when you find a lady. You can treat her with respect. You can take initiative, but chasing women, I promise you that and maybe Megyn's different, the vast majority of women will take that guy that has enough time to be chasing, that doesn't have anything going on in his own life because he's too busy chasing and pursuing, that calls them when they don't call back. She puts you on red and you're just like, looking with bated breath, that texts 2 seconds after they will take that guy and they will say, B team. They've got you, right? They've got you. The power dynamic is in their hands. It's not fun for them anymore. It's not alluring. You look like you got no life. You look lame. They're done with you. I promise you. The only guys that are pursuing women like that are guys that don't have options. And there's a difference between being a gentleman and asking a woman out, pulling out her chair, paying that bill when it's deserved, when you've got a quality woman. That is not the same thing as pursuing, like chasing, right? She says it's part of the game. Yeah, it's part of the game where you lose. You guys out there, you lose. Don't play it. Make yourself a magnet and she will come. I promise you. In fact, you will be that guy in the bar who's not chasing. You will be the only guy that tosses her a smile and that's about it. But you will have that energy of, I don't need you, but if you want to come over here and hang out with me, you're more than welcome. And you will have confidence and you will look together and she will wind up right. She will inch her way over little by little all night until she gets right next to you. And she invites that line from you to say, hey, do you want to grab a drink or something? Casually. Stop looking like you need them. Stop looking like you're needy. All of that. Okay, next. Ooh, terrible advice.
And if you're a young woman, I have to say this, and you think that it's pervy or weird if a man is pursuing you, you got deep problems. I hear this a lot from men. And so young ladies out there are like, oh, well, I think it's weird if he approaches me at a bar. Get over yourself. Like, that's nature. That's biological, right? Have enough self-confidence. Be like, I'm not interested. Thank you so much, right?
Correct.
Don't go out alone if you feel unsafe. And you talk about this all the time, right, Megyn? But what has happened is this hostility, and I think men are overcompensating, but men have just retreated. They're like, forget it. We're done. You don't want to talk to us. You're going to accuse us of sexual harassment. I don't think that's the right reaction. But young ladies, in some ways, have unintentionally created this kind of like, oh, I can't believe that guy at work came up to me and he wanted to talk to me.
And they will wind up alone. They will wind up rigid.
And they wonder why they're alone. Exactly.
And for the women, I think they need to remember, yes, it's his job to sort of be the alpha and pursue you, but you should stay playful. You can be somewhat elusive, because the men like that. Hello. But also playful. 100%. Like you have to be signaling back, I'm into you, if not always available to you. Well, that is how it works.
Oh my God. Pause it. She's got it flipped. She's got it flipped, and she's got to know it deep down inside. Man, women say these things to men because they want to hold the power. I'm telling you. The elusive one, that's the guy. Okay, that's what we're drawn to do too. The guy needs to be the one that's kind of elusive and mysterious. How many times do you see a woman leave the guy who's been the friend, right? Or who's been the pursuer, or who she knows is really into her and is like chasing a little bit, for the guy who's good looking and kind of aloof and a little mysterious, and he's got his you know what together, and maybe flirt a little, but he's not giving you that much time. She's drawn to him like white on rice. We all know this. Why is this said? This is horseshit. Garbage. Again, women, by the way, she's either saying, oh, they think it's weird when guys pursue. It's not weird. It's just a turnoff. They don't want to think that you are coming after them at that level, like a puppy dog licking their feet like it's fresh milk. You become boring and mundane and predictable and done. Oh, this advice is so terrible. Guys, you should be the ones that are elusive. Let her be, yes, playful, but guys don't like when women are, completely given signals like they're, a little playful but not really interested. They feel like it's games. Everyone thinks this is supposed to be a game. It's not supposed to be a game. Okay, the only thing that's supposed to happen is that guys need to get their life together, know that they have it together. And yeah, you can be a little flirtatious, a little this, but it's not a game. The idea is for you guys to mesh, right? We all want it to mesh. This is making it sound like, well, women don't give too much, don't do that. Yeah, I mean, does the guy want you to be, a freak? Like texting him 100 times a day, desperate, weird, clingy beyond right? No. But does he want a challenge from second where you're like not really interested and he's got to chase you and it's some type of game? You guys know the second it turns into like a real game and you're dealing with somebody who's just playing games, you're done. This is terrible advice. Oof, man alive. Okay, keep going.
Men want what they cannot have, and they will
Right.
keep on pursuing what they cannot have if they think there's a chance. And there's that beautiful thing where it's like, so you're telling me there's a shot. You're telling me there's a chance, right? And so, again, that for the women out there, exercise class and piety properly understood. But, again, you could be playful. You could be artful with it. You don't have to be overly flirty, but you definitely can be classy in the way that you engage with it, right? Because a man will also, women will find this, a man will improve himself, his income, and his character to elevate towards a woman. And so you will find that men will do things that they will not do for anybody else in the pursuit of a woman. They'll stop drinking. They'll stop watching porn. They'll get a second job. They will not eat for a week. They'll go to the gym. It does things to the male mind, and women don't always understand that. So I say, women, hold yourself to such a high standard that the man wants to pursue you, that they have to elevate
Absolutely.
themselves towards that.
Okay. And we're gonna stop here. Because we got the gist of this whole thing. But again, let's finish with this. He's saying that men want to elevate themselves, right? To a woman, right? They see this woman and she's amazing and they want it. That's true. Shouldn't it be the same for women? What are the women doing? It's not happening on both sides, right? The guys, you're right, are inclined to see this amazing woman and they want to work up and make enough money and be able to provide for her and be able to do all of these things, right? They're not getting it back. Is that woman saying, well, I want to elevate myself to be with this man? So you know what? What do men really want? They want a feminine woman. They want a woman of virtue. So I'm not going to go out on girls' night out half naked. I'm not going to, I'm not going to date around and then make these videos and all this stuff. I'm going to be a woman of virtue. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to be loyal. I'm going to be are they doing that by and large? No. So you can't deal with the dating market that you want. You have to deal with the dating market that you have. And the important point here, I think the big takeaway for me from this video is not that they're wrong about everything, but that they're not really taking into account how women are showing up in these relationships from second one. Like, what is their role? How is that impacting the male role? Are they in their feminine? Are they doing what they need to be doing? What are guys actually facing in the dating market that's turning them into someone different than they used to be, into not being gentlemanly, into all these things. Why are we so comfortable pointing the finger at men and not pointing that finger at women? That is what we need to ask ourselves. Thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Do you want me to try to get Charlie on? I think that could be an interesting discussion, but you let me know if you're like, no, we're not going to do it. I love you all. Thank you. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Let's keep this moving. We have a target. When we get to 100K, we're going to do something special. Ooh. See you soon.